Oh, good morning, my Teaser King family. How is everybody today? Hope you're doing well. I am fine. Happy Sunday. Another big day in baseball. Holy Christ. I actually know what I'm doing. It's scary. I didn't think you could ever figure out baseball, but I've done it. Yeah, it's interesting. I put this shirt on. I like it because it's purple, like the Joker. And I look at the label, it says large. I go, oh, I can't wear this. You need a triple XL to wear clothes now. But this is so old that it fits as a 1XL and it fits fine. The shoulders and the chest are fine for me. Where usually now I have a hard time getting things over my chest and over my shoulders. So they've kind of changed the way they do things for some strange reason. Where a large is not a large anymore. You need a double or triple XL to be a large, which definitely screws with your mind. You're going, oh shit, wait, I gotta get a double XL or triple XL to wear shirts. And so that's why these older ones are nice because they're just 1XL or this might even be a large, but this fits and I love the color, the purple. So this is when you could buy a polo. I probably paid $30 for this. Now they want 100, and you're just like, go fuck yourself. I can go buy Brooks Brothers for 30, $35. You want to charge 100? Good luck. Who's gonna buy it? Nobody needs it because it's got a polo. If all is even, if this Brooks Brothers 30 and this is 30, I might choose the polo. But if this is 70 and that's 30, I'll never choose the low. Your brand isn't that good that you can charge double the other one, especially at a discount mall. So when I go up to the discount mall. All right. So let's look at value real quick. What's the difference? These are both baseball cards. One's an old one, 1964. This one's like 1995 or something. How do we get value in it? Well, it's determined by what somebody's willing to buy it for and somebody's willing to sell it for. So I'll sell you this for $1,000. Will you buy it? It's in mint condition. It's Mickey Mantle. You probably will. I want to sell you this for 1,000. Will you give me 1,000? Probably not. It's Patty Roy on Montreal. At least on Colorado, it's a cooler jersey. But how limited is this? This is Patty Roy. It's hockey. This is Mickey Mantle and baseball, K-Line and Cash and Roger Maris. So this has a lot of flavor to it. And it's 1964. And it's mint. How many mint ones? This is far more limited, being a 9 than this is. They never did give you the count, which I thought was a mistake. It's probably 1 out of 5,000, maybe 1 out of 2,500, but they don't put the number down. So how do we value it? Why do we value this more than this? Because there's more demand for Mantle than Patty Roy. It's just the way it is. This is older, so people don't have this is harder to get. So it's limited. So this is harder to get. There's more demand for Mantle and Maris and K-Line than there is Patty Roy. this is a beautiful card, but how limited is it? This is a beautiful card, and it's not that limited, but in this condition and in 1964, good luck finding it. So it becomes limited. So you have a higher demand for Mantle. You have an older card that there's not very many mint ones out there. And so you have a little bit less supply and a little higher demand for this card than you do for this card. This is still a beautiful card. I'll buy it, but I'm not going to give you $1,000 for it. I might give you, 500 or 250. Because again, there's a whole set of it. There's a Gretzky, a Lemieux, I think Forsberg and Sakic are in it. So it's a very nice set. It's a very pretty set. But how much are you going to pay for it? So that's where value comes from. It comes from price, which comes from the money. So how much money are you willing to trade for each card? And you're willing to trade more money for Mantle than you are for Patty Roy. So that's really the marketplace. However, when the morons print the money to death, you need a different money now. And that's the whole point of the class. The money you need for the Mantle card is going to be gold and silver. And the money you need for the Roy card is probably more silver than gold. You just switch out the money, and that's the whole point of it. So you're switching the money out. Well, I want to get paid in something worth value. So what they've really done is they've killed the value of this. So I don't even know how much to trade you for the cards. But I know I want the Mantle card more than I want the Roy card, even though the Roy card's nice. And I wouldn't mind getting the whole collect. There's 18 cards, probably, Forsberg, Jaeger, Brodeur, Hasek. Yeah, you probably want most of the set. There's a lot of good players back then. Not like now. There's no good players. But you're trading this for that. But if you make this worthless, well, I don't want dollars for this. I want, I want a quarter ounce of gold for this, which is roughly $1,100 now. At 4,600, it's almost $1,200. 12 would be 4,800. So it's about $1,100. So a quarter ounce of gold for this card. Yeah, well, it depends. It depends if it's graded and then what's it going for in the market. It might be 10,000. So I might need 2 ounces of gold for that card, depending if it's a PSA 9 and I get the right buyer who's looking for this card and he likes K-Line and Mantle and Maris 19, this isn't the year Maris hit the home runs. I have that card. And Norm Cash. So if you're kind of a Detroit and everybody likes Mantle and maybe you want to go 5,000 on it, maybe it's worth 5,000. So then I'll take an ounce of gold for it. So it's the value, but it's determined by what are you giving me for it. And what's happening in the world is nobody wants dollars because everybody's waking up to they printed too much of it. So this is your protection. If I want to buy a house or a car, I really can't use monopoly money to do it. I'll have to come up with so much money, so much of this crap to buy the car. But my job's not paying me more. Let's say I was making 80 grand. Well, I'm not making 150,000, even though the value of the dollar went down, and I should. I think this is the biggest factor that's screwing everybody. You go to work, you make 80, 90 grand, and I'm doing well. But the value of the 80, 90 grand is worth, like I said, 100,000. Well, let's use the value of the 100,000 is 1,000. It's lost 99% of its value. So really, you're making $1,000. So really, to make 100,000, you got to make $1 million. And hence all these billionaires, they're really just millionaires. So you want to trade. So you have an asset, you have something worth value here. but I'm not going to give it like schoolball. I'm not giving them away for minor leaguers. That was a terrible trade. Well, if they didn't do it, they'd get nothing in return. Well, that's not true. If they didn't do it, they'd have $40 million to spend to go get Mizorowski or Skanes or somebody like that. Well, they could use it towards that, right? I don't know what Mizorowski would cost if you could even get him. I'm sure there's a price. Give him half the team and give him, $1 billion or something for Mizorowski. But there'd be a price you could get for him. Or Skanes or Sanchez. I see we got Sanchez going today. So it's if you think of the dollars as a trade instrument, you go to the grocery store and you pay for a steak, you give them money, you pay for tuna fish and Fruit Loops and everything, and you're trading the money for the product. Only the money isn't worth anything. So you think prices are going up, and they're not. The dollar has no value. But they won't tell you that, but that's what's happening. That's why we get into gold and silver, and it protects you because the value of the gold and silver should be going up much more dramatically than it is. And these answers by this Luke Groman guy, well, yeah, there was profit take. There was no profit taking. You're talking about paper gold and silver. You're not even talking about physical. The physical gold and silver we have is not being profit taken. Nobody's selling that. We are buying as much as we can because we know what it's worth, and we know the real value is 10 to 20 times more than this paper value. Because like I said, you got 400. So imagine there's in the paper world, they're doing options for 4 million of these, but in the physical world, there's only 200,000 of these. Or we'll keep it simple. There's one of these. We have one. But in the option world, we're doing 10,000. You don't have 10,000. Oh, yeah, but it's just an option. And that's where they're fucking everybody around. They're making the supply of this 10,000 when the supply of this is 1. I got 1. That's it. So there should be a bidding war on the 1, not this 10,000 phony baloney. And then there's people are bidding on the options to go up, which is horseshit. All right, we'll come back to this. It's always good to talk value and money because it's so critical and nobody really understands it. Nobody understands your dollar's worthless. Nobody understands what the value is on assets, that you want to hold the asset. I hold this. This is a very rare, limited, highly demanded thing. And this is not. This is nobody wants. You can't. We're selling our treasuries to ourselves. How stupid is this? Think about that. I want to sell this card because I need money, so I want $5,000 for it. Nobody will buy it, so I'll buy it myself. And I'll say, okay, I just bought it for $5,000. Well, how did that help you? You needed $5,000 and you just bought it. You're the one who bought it. You didn't. And that's what we're doing with treasuries. We're buying our own treasuries. We're buying our own stocks. We're pushing the price of stocks up. All right. Yesterday, we go 9-3 plus 14 units yesterday. I started off with like 5 in a row. So we start off. Let's go right to it. The Yankees 4-3. It was 7.5. We're under. That was our free play. It's 3-1 the whole game. Somehow Toronto wins 4-3. Let's see, when did they score? I think they scored in the 8th. It's Dylan Cease against Weathers. Dylan Cease is throwing a no-hitter through like 7 innings. And then Toronto has T. Rogers come in with the 1.82 ERA. I can't bitch about that in the 8th inning. And then the Yankees, I can bitch about this. Weathers goes 3 innings and gives up 2 runs. And then De Los Santos comes in with a 1.08 ERA, and he goes 2 2/3. I can't bitch about that. He gives up 1 run. And then what I bitch is this Hanner comes in, pitches an inning and 2/3 with a 6.75 and gives up 3 hits and 1 run. Why do you have a guy on your team with a 6.75 ERA? Why is he pitching in a 2-1 game? and basically we lost. Well, it's a win and a push. 3 runs in the 8th inning, and that's what gets you in these under games. We've got it 1-0, 2-1 the whole game. I think it's 3-0 Toronto, and then you bring in a pig at the end. So we'll call it a win and a push. So we'll call it a win for our sakes. I got Milwaukee under 7.5. They win 4-1. The Henderson looked pretty good. Miami 4, Washington 2. I have Miami. Philly 12-3. I have Philly over 9 because I don't like Painter. Painter wins, but I get the over I was looking for as Philly got 12 runs, which I thought they might get all the runs. St. Louis only got 3 on Painter, but again, we only needed over 9. That's a winner. Baltimore 3, Tampa 2. I don't play because I don't know what the fuck's going on in that way. California 3, Texas nothing. I don't play. The Mets 10, White Sox 5. I play the White Sox over 8. Another W. I give you the other free play. The Dodgers over 7.5 with Scooble, and they win 4-3. So Scooble does give up the 3 runs, and the Dodgers only got 4 off of Jeffrey Jones, which I was a little surprised. I thought they'd score more, and I thought Pitt would get more when Scooble was out. So we lose by a half a run. And the ironic part is I only had a couple of losers there. We've got Seattle 5, the Cubs 4. I play the Cubs. And how I lose that game, you got to be kidding me. In the bottom of the 9th, it's 4-2. A hit here, a hit there, and a 2-run homer to win the game 5-4. I just couldn't, it's 4-2. I'm going, okay, I'm going to mark the W. KC 3, Detroit 1. I play KC against Seth Lugo, against nobody for Detroit. And I know Detroit doesn't hit, and they got 3 hits in the game. When they face a good pitcher, and Seth Lugo's not a good pitcher, but he's a veteran. He knows how to get these guys out. They did shit. So 3-1 KC, that's a winner. That's why you don't look at team. KC's, last place and nothing, but Detroit's nothing. Oh, they got McGonigal. Oh, whip-de-doo. He didn't get a hit yesterday. So 3-1 KC, they win. I have Boston, 2 units. They win 3-2 against the 49ers. I've been betting Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia. I found my bitches. Arizona, I lose on 11-5. Their pitcher was hot. Not yesterday. Colorado over 11.5. They lose 4-3. They didn't hit, which was surprising. Their pitcher stinks. Cleveland doesn't hit, as we know, and that's why it's tough because Colorado does hit, but they didn't hit it here. And Cleveland hits a little, but it was 4-3. Again, a total of 11. They don't make sense. And then our last game, San Diego, they win 7-5. So we go 9-3, and we make 14 units. Nothing big, a lot of 2-unit play. 3 units on the Yankees under, 3 units on Milwaukee, and the rest were 2 units, but I just nail it. And again, it goes to the pitcher. Real quickly, college football starts next Saturday. The picks for next week are in. I got a lot going, and so please buy quickly. I'm not forcing you to buy, but if you're going to buy, you should be buying real soon because there's a couple of lines I'm worried about that I want you to get a better line in. I do that a lot with over-unders, you guys know, where on Sunday I will post it and I'll email all my customers saying, okay, we're going to play the over in the USC Oregon game because it's 60, and I know it's going to go way over that. And then by kickoff on the Saturday, it's 66. These over-unders definitely go. So I want you to get the bet in soon, but whenever you can. So we will go for there. Um, One of my customers asked me about the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get into that when we look at preseason. All right. So anyway, I'm not trying to sell you. I'm saying if you're going to buy, and I know how you guys have been with me for years, you know what I'm talking about. Let's get in before the line moves and get your bet down so you can win. That's the whole point of it. All right. Today, the 23rd, we don't start till 1:35. We got Toronto at the Yankees. We've got Soriano at Rodon. The Yankees 128, 7.5. Soriano, pretty solid pitcher, was on California, so he wasn't getting hitting. And now he's on Toronto. He gets to go to the Maple Leaf games. He's won his last 5, Soriano. His last 6, 3 runs, 2 runs, 1 run, 2 run, 1 run, 3 runs. So he's pretty good. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to bet the Yankees and they're going to beat Toronto. Soriano's going to pitch good. So you're going to have trouble hitting, and you don't hit anyway. So this is smelling like another under if Rodon is pitching good. Rodon, I think he's been hurt. Yeah, he pitched June 28th, and he hasn't pitched since August 18th. So he was out all of July on summer vacation. And he had gone 6-1 his last 7. He did beat Baltimore 3-1 August 18th, 5 days ago. 4 innings, he gave up 1 run, 66 pitches. Before that, his last 6 was 1 run, 3, 2, and 1. So, all right. I think I have a good free play for you. And let's get right to that. There's your free play. Philadelphia, St. Louis. We got Lehigh 3.25 against Sanchez 2.52. Phillies 205 and 8. And I'm all set to give you Sanchez as the lock today. And then I look at Lehigh, and he's 3-0 his last 3, 3-3 his last 6, but that's not what I'm looking at. His last 6 games, 1 run, 2 runs, 1 run, 2 runs, 1 run shutout. And he's gone 102 and 90 and 80. Very few walks. And those are like 6-inning games. Sanchez, we know from the Dominican Republic, this guy's lights out. He is 8-2 his last 10. And his last 6, well, let's go his last 10. 5 runs, 0, 9, and then 2, 3, 3, 0, 2, 0, 1. So forget the 9-run game. Notice how he came back. 2, 3, 3, 0, 2, 0, 1. So where I'm going to give you Sanchez, I'm now going to lock Philadelphia under 8.5. And let's go 4 units. That's your free play. And it's pretty much a lock. Now, if you want, you can bet Philly to win. But again, Lehigh's been pitching well. So he could, pitch a 5-hitter and they get 1 run. We know St. Louis, they did hit Mizorowski pretty good. But Lehigh does not have a 3.25 ERA. It's more in the 2s, and Sanchez is in the 1s, really. So you can do Philly if you want, but I'm giving you the under 8.5 in this game. Lehigh pitching very good. We don't care. He's a 3.25 ERA. We don't care about that. We look at his last 6, and he's lights out, as is Sanchez has been lights out the whole year. So go there, go Philly, St. Louis. That is your free play, under 8.5. All right. Tampa Bay, Baltimore. Baltimore 105 and 9. Nick Martinez for Tampa. This is Tampa at Baltimore. Baltimore slight favorite. Total of 9. Nick Martinez 306 against Shane Baz 403. But we don't pay attention to that. We pay attention to what are they doing their last 6 or 7 games. Martinez is 8-2 his last 10, 2-2 his last 4. So he won 6 in a row, lost, 1-2, lost. His last 6, 1 run, 0, 6, 0, 4, 6. So he's not been a good boy. His last 3 of them have been high. So his ERA is really like 4. Shane Baez is not a good boy. He's lost his last 6. He's actually 1-9 his last 10. This guy sucks. And let's go 10. 5 runs, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 5, 3. He will give up runs. Martinez is giving up runs. Okay, so I know what I'm doing. It's really hard to play a pitcher here. They're both struggling. Now, Shane Baez, you can take Tampa maybe, but Martinez is no thing. But he's 1-9, and his ERA is way over 4. Washington at Miami. Miami 153, 8.5. Clark Kent for Washington 10-9 against Junk 4-4-0, and that's his real name, Junk. I'm not even bringing that in there. Jackson Kent, I prefer Clark. He's going to be Clark Kent for us. Pitched in 2 games, got a 9.39 ERA. He lost to the Cubs 12-6. He lost to Texas 5-0. That's all he's got. 3 runs and 5 runs. This guy stinks. Junk 4-4-0. I was watching a pitcher for Seattle who was the number 1 ranked minor leaguer pitcher for Seattle. And this was the game of the week, and they were playing the Cubbies, and the Cubbies about the 6th inning hit back-to-back homers, and that was the end of that guy. This Armstrong guy, I'm sorry. Why is Mizorowski not up for MVP? Why is it between this Armstrong guy and Shotani, who doesn't even play anymore? I don't understand that. It's like making Lamar the MVP. He doesn't deserve it, but whatever. And Shotani is not the MVP this year. It's clearly Mizorowski. Well, he's a pitcher. He's the best player in the game. What are you talking about? Good luck even hitting the guy, and he's not the best player in the league. Okay, then why do you have the award if you're not going to give it to the best player? All right, Junk. He's 2-4 his last 6. He is Junk. His last 6 games, 6 runs, 1-1, 2-2, and 2. We go back 10 games, 7-8. 1-2-6, 1-1, 2-2-2. So it looks like he found something his last 5 games. 6 runs came against Houston. They still lost to Atlanta 11-3. He gave up 2 runs in 3 innings. He lost to Philly 6-5. He beat Pitt 8-2. He beat the Mets 8-2. Pitt at home, he won. San Diego, he lost. Seattle 8-4. I might have to go into home and road a little bit more. I'm just looking at last 6 because it really doesn't matter. He's pitching. But there is stadium difference, deeper outfielders, things like that. Less foul ground, more foul ground. So the Junk man, the last 5 he's good, and 7 of the last 8 he's good. He just gave up the 6 to Houston. Before that, he gave 8 to Atlanta, 7 to Tampa Bay, which aren't big hitting teams. So we got Clark Kent, who's pitched 2 games. We got Junk, who's been fairly good lately, but over the last 10, he's had 3 real bad games, and you don't know what you're getting. So I'm going to pass on him. Cartrick Charter, I know who are you? I think I know you. I know the name. I brought 5 kilograms silver at $69. will it go up? You have to ask me that question after I teach you this. Of course it'll go up. It's going up to $1,000 an ounce. You did good. You bought physical. Now, why do I say physical is going up? Because it's very limited and it's highly demanded, and the dollar's worthless. So you have to get into other dollars, as I started class with. I don't want paper dollars for the mantle card. I want gold and silver for the mantle card. I want real assets with real value for my mantle card. And if I did sell it for 10 grand, I would turn it into gold and silver very quickly. So soon it'll be worth 100, then it'll be worth 500, and then it'll be 1,000. That is what the rock is cooking. Okay, that's almost, I would absolutely stake my reputation on that. So you'll see 500 an ounce. I gave Jenna, when I met her, some silver, like the 10-ounce bars. I told her, just hold it. It'll go way up in value. At the time, it was like $25 an ounce. Now it's 70. Next week, it'll be upper 70s. And it'll just keep going. Now that all these wars and everything, everybody knows the U.S. is bankrupt. Nobody wants to doubt. We're buying our own treasuries. How stupid is that? We'll have a treasury auction. Nobody wants it. Well, we'll buy our own and we'll get money. Was that not the stupidest thing you ever heard of? I'm going to sell my mantle card, but nobody wants it, so I'll buy it. Well, wait a minute. I got this same money in. So yes, of course it'll go up. Physical will go up. China's coming out with a physical gold price, not this paper bullshit price the COMEX has. It's collapsing because everybody wants physical and they don't have it. And so you're going to see a actual physical price. The demand for silver is huge. There's only 1 million tons, not the 75 million on COMEX, the paper tons. The physical world, there's only 1 million tons. And I don't even think there's 1 million with these wars going on. When they shoot a missile and it's full of silver and it blows up, the silver's gone. Gold is indestructible. So that's why you buy a little bit of gold. Buy a tenth of an ounce, a quarter of an ounce of gold also, because they go up hundreds of dollars. Silver goes up, $5. But absolutely it'll go up, and just be patient with it. And this is easy to get rid of. If you need cash, like I needed like $100. I took 2 ounces of silver, went to the coin store. He gave me $200. I mean, that's how easy it is. But this is harder to get rid of, or a Picasso, or any of the cards or assets. It's hard to get a Rolex. It's not easy to sell it as gold and silver are. So you just go to the store, he'll give you cash for it. And if you need cash, so it's easier. Kurdik, I'm thinking to buy on Monday. What do you think? I shall buy it now or after a dip? Forget the dips. Buy it now. You're in a dip. $70 for silver is a dip. You're looking at least a $500 an ounce coin now. It's a dip. Don't try to time the market. You're trying to get out of dollars because these are worthless, because nobody wants them. We can't sell treasuries. And buy and accumulate as much gold and silver as you can, and you just put it in the safe, and you just wait and watch the price go up. And when the price drops, it's because it's price fixed by JP Morgan. And there's no dip. This isn't a stock. This is real assets, real value, and you buy your physical. So buy as much as you can, as soon as you can. The quicker you buy it at a better price. Notice it was in the 50s. Now it's up to 70. It's going to 90. So if you wait, you pay more for it. Gold, I bought it at 1,700. It's now 4,600. And if you keep waiting, you're going to pay 5,000 for it. Then you're going to pay 8,000 for it. You want to have it while you can and just hold it, and you'll be fine. lose on it. It's the biggest lock I can give you. Prof, please tell fast, Professor, fast. Well, I think I just did. So, yeah, I mean, you want to buy it as quick as you can and accumulate it. And there's not enough. If you get 100 ounces, get 200. Whatever you have, I don't know if you're in dollars or whatever your currency is, they're all worthless. The euro, this is worthless. So if you're in Europe, if you're in Japan, Korea, the Middle East, wherever you are, these are worthless because they're not backed by gold and silver. So the quicker you get out of it and the quicker you buy and the more you buy, the better you are because the price is going to go up. Because the profit, the price fixing is stopping. So keep that in mind. So you're fine as much as you can buy. So if you have $10,000, I would get rid of 8,000 and buy gold and silver with it. Keep a couple thousand to pay the bills. But if you need money, just you go to the gold store and say, here's 5 ounces of silver, and I want $500 for it or whatever. So you're fine. So buy as much as you can, as fast as you can. You're trying to beat the price going up, and you're trying to make sure there are some to have. Here in America, the guy has silver. He doesn't have gold all the time, depending on where you're at. But in other countries, it might be very hard to find gold and silver. I would think in Germany and obviously in Singapore, where Pat is, you should be able to buy it. But even he said in Singapore, sometimes the supplies are loose, drying up. So it's the sale of the century. Just buy as much as you can. It's like steak for $2 a pound. Are you going to just buy it? Throw it in your freezer. All right. So Washington, Miami. You got. I'm going to leave it alone, but I think it's an over game. The JETSs play the White Sox. White Sox 107-8. McLean 336 for the Jets and Newcomb for the White Sox. I don't know. Nolan McLean from Oklahoma State. And he is 3-2 his last 5. His last 6 games, 0.4251. So he's, probably about a 2.5 ERA. Newcomb is Sean Newcomb from Hartford. And he is an everyday, well, is he a bullpen? Yeah, he's a bullpen guy. So there's not much we can do here. His ERA is 2.44. He was on Oakland and Boston last year, and then Oakland the year before, but he's normally a reliever. For Boston, he started 5 games, 3.95. God, this guy's been pitching since 2017. He's always had a high ERA. And McLean, I think we saw him last 2 games. He pitched decently. White Sox have been hitting pretty good the last few games, so I think there'll be runs here. Oakland at Houston. Houston 170, 8.5. Basso with a 0 ERA, probably a reliever against Javier with an 8.33. Brady Basso from Oklahoma State. That's 2 from Oklahoma State. What are the odds on that? This guy's 1-9 his last 10, and he's a bullpen guy, and obviously not a very good bullpen guy. Or they bring him in when they're getting the shit beat out of them. Christian Javier from the Dominican Republic. and he's 1-6 his last 7, and he is somewhat of a starter, somewhat of a reliever. His last 6, 3 runs, a 1-inning shutout, a 5-inning shutout, and 3-4-2. I don't know. Oakland is so confusing. They get real hot and they score a lot, and now they're not. And Houston, so I got to pass on this. Detroit at KC. What the fuck? Wagas pack for Detroit. Who is this guy? Detroit's a 112 favorite. I can't believe it. 8.5 with the Waggers puck. Jacob Wagas puck from Old Miss. Wow, at least he's from Old Miss. He was at Tampa in 2024 with a 5.40 ERA, and now he's on Detroit. He's actually been in 21 games as a reliever with a 1.95, pitching 1 inning. He's all 1 innings. Who knows? It's a joke. Why are they favored? Lynch. Daniel Lynch from Virginia. I like the guy from TCU. He's 3-2 his last 5, and he's a bullpen guy. He did pitch 4 innings, 45 pitches, which was big, and he gave up one run in 4 innings, 2 walks. So we got 2 bullpen guys going. I'm not sure why Detroit's favored, and 8.5. I mean, how do you analyze this game when you got 2 guys that pitch an inning each? So I gotta pass this game. I don't understand why Detroit's favored. What would Wagas Puck tell me to bet them? And Lynch, he's also a bullpen guy. Why am I betting against him? So I'm going to leave this game alone. Again, it's hard to bet on new quarterbacks. You don't know if they're good or bad. LA at Texas. Yushi Kikuchi. He hasn't pitched all year. 5.81 ERA for California. Texas is 152-8. Yuki Katsuki was on Toronto, 5.81. They made a traded him for Soriano. And Cal Quantrill with a 2.66. Kikuchi, one of the Mr. Fuji guys, hasn't pitched since April 29th, and he's 1-6. So he's pretty bad this year, giving up a lot of runs. Cal Quantrill from Stanford, and he's 3-2 his last 5. And he's been pretty, his last 6 games, 2-1-3, 0-1-0. So he's been pretty good. All right. We will see. Cleveland and Colorado. Here's your second free play. We're going to take Cleveland. 3 units. We've got our friend Griffin. And we were betting him heavy when he was on Washington, and he'd win every game. And he's doing the same on Cleveland. Colorado, Sugano, who's pretty bad. Cleveland, 165, 11.5. I don't know why 11.5 seems awfully high with Griffin on the mound. He's look at this guy. He's 8-2 his last 10, and if we go all 10, 1 run, and these are all 6-7 innings, right? 1 run, 1 run, 1 run, 1 run, 1 run, 3, a 6 and a 5, a 3 and a 1. 6 and 5 came against Washington and the Mets, and he beats Detroit and he beats San Francisco. So this guy is bad. His worst game, he gives up 3. Sugano, another Mr. Fuji guy, Sugano, full of salt. He goes out there with the salt bag, not rosin bag. And he's 1-2 his last 3, 4-2 his last 6. His last 6, 3 runs, 2 runs, 1, 3 runs, 2 runs, 7. So he gives up 3 or more runs a lot. I don't know, 11.5 seems high, but we're going to go with Cleveland and Griffin. He's been very good. We've won a lot of money on him at Washington, so off we go. The 49ers play Boston. Boston did win yesterday. We got Boston 204-7. We got Colonel Wilkerson with an OERA against Bennett from Commando 349. Put the knife in me, Bennett. Put the knife in me. Wilkerson's pitched 1 game. He pitched 2 innings. So there's nothing for Wilkerson, and he's just started. And Colonel Bennett from Commando, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 3 his last 9, 1 and 3 his last 4. So he is starting to cool off. His 6 games, shutout 3, 3, 3, 4, 4. So he's given up runs. I don't know. This seems like an over, but are they hitting? They should hit Bennett. Wilkerson, who knows? I'm going to put it in net. Well, let's see. Maybe I'll bet like small on it. 7's such a low number. All right, we will. I'm not going to give it as a free play. I'm looking and I'm looking. Well, there's always Milwaukee to give the free play to. I mean, it's just like just bet Milwaukee, bet Philadelphia, and then bet whoever the good pitcher is. Pitt and the Dodgers. Yeah, I'm going to scratch this Boston. I got too many others. All right. The Dodgers, 262 and 8.5. Bachner, 150 against Snell, 360, who's been injured. Lake Bachner from Wisconsin. Who pitches and goes to? It's like golfing in Wisconsin. He's 2-2 his last 4. And he's pretty much a bullpen guy with a pretty big ERA, 3.27. He was with Miami with the 3.84 ERA. Pretty much a bullpen guy. Last year, 3.93, 24, 3.86. So he's about a 4 ERA. And Blake Snell for the Dodgers from Shorewood, Washington. Didn't even go to college. And he's only pitched in 3 games, 2 in August. They're over games, 6 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, 1 run, 90 pitches, 84 pitches, a lot of walks. So you got a 3.60 ERA. So he's normally a pretty good pitcher, but he's been injured and he's only going 5 or 6 innings. All right. The Cubbies at Seattle. That was a tough one to swallow. The Cubbies had it. Now, Crow Armstrong, who everybody thinks is the greatest thing since sliced bread, fucked the game up, cost them the game. He hits a double, which is really a home run. It looked like it hit over the yellow, but he gets a double on it. Next play, a ground ball to third base, and he wants to go from second to third. I guess he thought it was Little League. I don't know what he's thinking. So he starts going a little towards third. The guy from the third baseman throws to first. He starts dancing back and forth. The first baseman throws to second, and they nail him. So now there's 2 outs, nobody on. Where the fuck are you going on a ground ball to third? Just stay on second. You're not going anywhere, and there's only 1 out. You're already in scoring position. So now there's 2 outs, nobody on, and guess what happens? Bregman, home run. Next guy, home run. and they lose by 1. That's Mr. Armstrong. So he cost them the game, or at least you would have went to overtime. Maybe you pitched differently to the guy in the bottom of the 9th. All right, so we have Chicago 114, 7.5. The Cubbies at Seattle. Omega 378 against Bryce Miller 375. Omega, another Mr. Fuji guy. He's 5-1 his last 6, so he's pitching pretty well. I think we bet him last time he won. Shutout, 2-1, 4-3. His last 10's been 4-2-2-1, 0-0, 2-1, 4-3. The 4 runs came against Washington of all teams, and they still won the game. So he's pitching well. Bryce Miller from Texas A&M. This guy sucks. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's 0-7 his last 7. Giving up 3 runs, 5-2, 4, 5, 6. All right, here's your last free one. We're taking the Cubbies. Armstrong will have a big day. We'll go 3 units on it. We have the perfect storm. We have Mr. Fuji, who's been hot, against the guy who's 0-7 his last 7. You couldn't ask for a better thing. Believe me, the Cubs are pissed the way they blew the game yesterday. Look for the Cubbies to win here. So we got Philadelphia under 8.5. We got Sanchez against a good pitcher for the Cardinals. Lehigh for the Cards. We got Cleveland 3 units. We've got our guy Franklin. And the Cubbies 3 units. We got Omega, who's hot, against Bryce Miller, who's 0-7. Couldn't ask for a better matchup. Minnesota. See, that's why we don't really know who we're betting until we look at the details. And even then, I don't remember who I bet because I'm betting the pitcher. So I can't say, did I take Chicago today or did I take New York? I don't know. I know when Schindler's pitching. Now, normally with Philly going with Sanchez, I would take Philly today. But in this case, we hope he pitches a no-hitter and they win 1-0 and we'll be happy. Minnesota at San Diego. We got San Diego 135-9. Bradley over 463 against Ferris Bueller 480. Should be high scoring, but let's see. Maybe not. Ober's been hot. He's 5-1 his last 6, and a lot of unders. His last 6 games: 2 runs, 4, 3, 3, 5, and 2. So he's under, but he's given up 3, 4, 5 runs a game. Ferris Bueller doing those stupid commercials where I don't know what he's doing. He looks like an idiot doing those casino commercials. I really don't understand. You're Ferris Bueller. That's your brand. Be your brand. Don't be some idiot. Bueller is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 6-1 his last time. He's been red hot. So we got 2 hot pitchers going. 2 runs, 3, 3, 1, 1, 2. He did lose his last game 2-1 to the JETSs. So I'm kind of caught where both pitchers are pitching well. Does that lead us to the under 9? Let me just check overs again. And I go back in because I'm not really looking at the totals as much. 2, 4, 3, 3, 5, 2. So you don't know. This could be over 9. It could be under 9, and either one can pitch. So you got to let it go. With the other game, with the Cub game, was 1 good pitcher, 1 shit pitcher. Here, they're both pitching pretty well. Cincinnati at Arizona. Arizona 130-9. We got Abbott 408 against Bratt 425. Again, it looks like an over game, but we got to go inside the details. And Abbott is 3-2 his last 5. His last 6, 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs, 5 runs, 2 runs. So he has given up some runs. Bratt, Arizona, Mitch Bratt from Georgia Premier, some high school in Georgia. He's 0-2. He's 2-2. He's 2-4 his last 6. Mitch Bratt. 2, 4, 6. 2 runs, 5 runs, 1, 0, 2, and 3. So he does give up some runs. So this is a game where you don't know. They could give up 2 runs. They could give up 5 runs. So again, I can't really play it. Arizona 68-62. Cincinnati needs the game. They're not hitting the way they were. Arizona at home. It's tough. They both have 4 ERAs. I got to lay this down. Here we go. Atlanta, Milwaukee. Our favorite team, Milwaukee. They're winning us a fortune this year. Milwaukee 121, 7.5. Mayo 450 from Westminster, California. Tyler Mayo is 1-3 his last 4 for Atlanta. And in his last 6, 3-run shutout, 5 shutout, 1-2. Pretty good pitcher, except for that 5 in there. Milwaukee hits. Shane Drone, Florida State boy. Bobby, how'd you let him get away from LSU? He is 2-0 his last 2, 3-1 his last 4, 4-2 his last 6. His last 6 games, 3 runs, 5 runs, 2 runs, 6 runs, 3 runs, 0. 0 was a 2-inning pitch, 39 pitch. So it was 3-5-2-6-3. So Drone is not pitching very well, giving up a lot of runs. Mail 1-3, and he's giving up 3 a shutout, 5 a shutout, 1-2. But the way Milwaukee hits. All right. Now, Milwaukee, watching them hit, it's sort of like the Knicks. The Knicks told the analytics to go fuck off. And they're driving the lane, and Doyle Brunson's making all these shots in the lane and driving and everything. They're not just shooting 3-point shots. And they won the title. And Milwaukee's doing the same thing. They're not pinch hitting the lefties hitting lefties. They're hitting Scooble. The lefties hit Scooble 4 for 4. They're hitting singles. They're keeping their lefties. They're keeping their best players in. And they're playing baseball the way you should play it. You got a guy hitting 300, you're not taking him out. Their whole lineup's stacked. They hit and they hit and they hit. And they're winning because they're not using analytics. The manager's a little funny, taking out Mizorowski. The whole thing's kind of stupid. He's your best pitcher. If it's a close game, you leave him in there, let him go 9 because he's your best pitcher. So whoever you bring in is not going to be as good. Now, maybe he does have some good bullpen guys. So maybe he can pitch 8 innings and go to the 8th and the 9th. But he's got good pitching except for, no, that was the Cubs yesterday. So Milwaukee's a very strong team. Obviously, they're the best team. I think I would say they would win, but Dronin does give up a lot of runs. And so therefore I can't bet them like I want to with all their pitching. So this is more of a total bet. So that's it. That's baseball. You got Philly under 8.5, 4 units. We got Sanchez going. We got Cleveland 3 units. We got Griffin going. And we got the Cubs 3 units. Aman Omega, who's hot, and the other guy, whatever the hell his name is. Bryce Miller is cold. He's like 0-7. So we're betting pitching streak there. And the Cubs blew the game yesterday. They're not going to be making that mistake this time. So those are your 3 free plays. 9 and 3 yesterday, plus 14 units. Beautiful day. I'm so hot right now. All right. Let's go preseason NFL. There's one game today. It's actually on TV for me. All right, let's walk through this. Why are we walking through preseason? We have one goal, and that's to see the quarterbacks. I want to see the backups and see who's playing. You know, a lot of the starters have played mostly one series, but even Caleb was out there yesterday. Only the Lions won't use their starters because they don't need the practice. Oh, yeah, they missed the playoffs. They won't play their line. Well, they missed the playoffs. I'm watching old football. And yeah, you got the Steelers, Greenwood, White, and Holmes. You've got Dallas Cowboys. I watched the catch game yesterday. Dallas, Harvey Martin, Ed Too Tall Jones, Randy fucking White, and Bethea, who is the MVP of the Big Ten, is your defensive line. Here's the Lions. Some guy with a broken leg and 3 nobodies. And you want to compete. And you don't need any more defensive linemen. And you have no secondary. And you think you're going to make the playoffs with no defense. You're out of your fucking mind. That's where we started to really excel, is we understand it's the defense. You bet the defense. And if you don't have one, it's a lot of overs. It's a lot of you're giving up a lot of points, and then you have to throw the ball a lot to try to keep up. Oh, wait, they don't have an offensive line either. No offense or defensive line. Remember the Hogs, the Redskins? Great offensive line, great defensive line. The Cowboys, I just told you. The Vikings, Eller, Page, Marshall, and Larson. The Purple People Eater. The Fearsome Foursome. Jones and Merlin Olsen, and I don't know. Then some other Ram teams, they had Dreyer and Youngblood. But no, the Lions, we have one guy with a broken leg, and that's all we need. And they think the broken leg's healed. You can't snap your leg in half and think it's just easy to recover and mentally he's fine and he didn't lose a step. Out of your fucking mind. What are you, crazy? All right. It's more psychological that I better be careful with my leg because I don't want to go through that again. All right, we got Seattle, Tennessee today. Tennessee 4.5. I would bet a teaser on Seattle 10.5. So far, it's weird. All my teasers would have won had I bet them in football. I'll walk you through those. Oakland 22, Houston 20. So we're going to look at the quarter. We're just going to go through just the quarterbacks. All right. Why are they putting a bar graph? What bar graph do I want to see in this bullshit? Scoring summary. Okay. Wood has 80-yard interception return for Houston. That's pretty good. Pretty good play. Let's go to the stats. Aiden O'Connell, 15 to 24, 166 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. That pick 6 was against Mendoza. 8 of 15, 86 yards and interception. Now, this is against the third string of Houston. This isn't even the starters. Forget the starters. He'd be like 2 of 15 against the starters. 86 yards, no touches, and 1 pick. And you think Mendoza's it. Okay. Houston, Davis Mills, 11 of 15. We know he sucks. Brett Rippon from Boise, we know he sucks. 6 of 10, 44 yards and an interception. And CJ Stroud, 4 of 6, 27 yards. So here they're playing their starting quarterbacks. At least I believe Mendoza will start, although maybe it's Kirk Cousins, although he's so bad. I don't know why he's on the team. But Stroud, 4 of 6, 27 yards, 4 dump-offs for 5 yards apiece. All right. The 49ers 41, San Diego 17. I don't know what San Diego's doing. I don't buy. There's no way they're better than Denver. It's a joke. The Niners, Adrian Martinez. What are they wasting their time with this guy? 8 of 17, 57 yards, 1 touch, 2 picks in a fucking preseason game against the third string of San Diego. Are you kidding me? Matt Jones, 6 of 13, 89 yards. He stinks. And Brock Purdy, 4 of 6, 29 yards. He's their quarterback. No backup here. Now, here's where I really got the problem is San Diego. All right, Justin Herbert, 1 of 2 for 9 yards. I don't know why it's 1 of 2. You didn't let him play a few series. Uglia Buglia, what the fuck is he doing here? 7 of 15, 80 yards. And Trey Lance, 10 of 16, 73 yards. These are your quarterbacks? I don't like any of them. Herbert, I'm beginning to wonder, and Uglia Buglia couldn't. If you got to go to him, you're getting killed. And then Trey Lance is terrible. What is San Diego? They're settling on Trey Lance as their backup quarterback. They're out of their fucking minds. Really bad operating. That's why I don't like Harbaugh. What an idiot. JETS 17, Pittsburgh nothing. Look at this one. Look at the JETSs. Are they getting good? No, they still suck. The Jets quarterback, Cade Klubnik from Clemson, who stinks, 10 of 14, 75 yards. Zappy, who I like, 6 of 8, 68 yards. Geno Smith, 7 of 7, 65 yards and a touchdown. He's ready to go. And Brady Cook from Missouri, 1 of 2, 31 yards. I don't really get the point. Klubnik stinks, so what do you think you're going to do? Either Zappy's good or he's not. Geno Smith, 7-7. What are you doing with Brady Cook? And what are you doing with Klubnik? So let me understand this. You're looking at your backup quarterback. Cook, 1 of 2. Zappy, 6 of 8, who has at least played. You at least know Zappy from New England. And Klubnik, 10 of 14, who, if you watch Clemson and go, this guy sucks, against Pittsburgh's fourth-string defense. And you're going to make an assessment if the quarterback's any good. Really? So the guy goes 10 of 4 for only 75 yards against Pitt's fourth-string defense. And what's your conclusion? He's a good quarterback. He sucks. You have no idea. He sucks because you can watch him at Clemson. Pittsburgh, I don't know what they're doing. Drew Allard, 11 of 23, 110 yards. He was terrible at Penn State. Didn't win. They lost 5-6 in a row with this guy. Will Howard at Ohio State, 10 of 15, 74 yards, 2 interceptions. More of a running quarterback from Kansas State. He was pretty good at Kansas State, but he runs a little bit. Drew Allard, you're wasting time. Aaron Rodgers, I get. And the other guy, I don't know who the other quarterback is, but why are you looking at Drew Allard? He stinks in college. It's not like you get better going from college to pro. If you're not good in college, you're not going to be good in the pros. Why is it so hard for these idiots to understand that? Carolina 34, Jacksonville 17. Is this a surprise? Well, no, Jacksonville's not that good. Carolina scoring, even in preseason, is a surprise. All right, let's look at it. We got Carolina, Kenny Pickett. I thought he was on Pittsburgh, but he's on Carolina, 15 of 25, 137 and 1 touchdown. Looks good, but we know he sucks. Steve Young, 5 of 6, 49 yards. He's terrible. They don't even have Haynes King. I think he might have got bruised a little bit. And Kyle Trask, the best of their quarterbacks with Haynes King, 4 of 4, 52 yards and a touchdown. This guy's great, Kyle Trask. What are you doing with Steve Young? And then, okay, so it's Trask and Haynes King. What are you doing with Kenny Pickett? Did we not just watch him suck the last 5 years? Oh, but maybe he'll get better. Jacksonville, Carter Bradley from South Alabama, 6 of 13, 51 yards and a pick. I don't know why you're wasting your time. My man, Joey Aguilar from Tennessee and App State, 9 of 10, 130 yards and a touchdown. There's your quarterback. Nick Mullins, 6 of 7, 65 yards, and God knows Trevor Lawrence stinks. He can't throw. All he wants to do is run, so put him at wide receiver. He's another that should be at receiver. Well, he's an athlete. Well, he's not a quarterback. So Jacksonville found their quarterback in Aguilar, who's very good for Tennessee. These Tennessee quarterbacks are very well coached. Green Bay 33, Denver 13. Like that would ever happen in the regular season. Let's see. Green Bay, Kyle McCord, 12 of 19, 118 yards. Tyrod Taylor, 4 of 8, 17 yards. And Jordan Love, 5 of 7, 56 yards. Yeah, Tyrod Taylor's terrible. McCord, I don't remember. Can I get a – no, I can't get – Jordan Love's terrible. You're not winning with him. Denver, Stidham, 9 of 15, 82 yards and a pick. Bo Nix is playing 6 of 9, 76 yards and a touchdown. There you go. Ellinger, 2 and 2 of 10. So it's between Ellinger and Stidham. Stidham played in the championship game. He's your dude. But Bo Nix is your guy, and I don't know why people don't like Bo Nix. They can all fuck off. All right, yesterday, the Mighty Lions, 17, Washington 13. I was listening to the after show, and the announcers all excited about the Lions. And you look at the box score, they did nothing. They had a 50-yard run by Joshua Dobbs. What the fuck is he doing there? And then you had a bunch of field goals. So Washington, Kela Kamanis, 11 of 14, 162. He stinks from Minnesota. Sam Hartman, 9 of 11, 67 yards. Should be there. Well, with Jalen Daniels, he's not your starter, but he's very good backup. Jalen Daniels, 0 for 1. He didn't throw a pass for Noe, but at least he's out there playing. Oh, Detroit. Oh, no, we won't see Goff. He's too good. Luke Altmaier from Illinois, 9 of 13, 86 yards. He's not impressed. And Joshua Dobbs, 7 of 12, 74 yards. This guy stinks. He keeps going around because he's got experience, but he's terrible. So again, when Goff hurts his knee, it's going to be all over for them. Washington needs Daniels back, but I do like Hartman. Now, this was one of my big plays. Cleveland was 2.5 over Buffalo, and I told you to take Buffalo as a dog. Now, we didn't bet it. We're just kind of what we would have done. And Buffalo wins 31-7. I love it. And Buffalo, Kyle Allen, 10 of 12, 128 and a touch. And Shane Buechele from SMU, 5 of 10, 111 yards and a touch. Frank Gore played 9 rushes, 54 yards. Cleveland, Deshaun Watson's playing, and they got killed. 5 of 12, 36 yards and an interception. So are we sure Deshaun Watson against the weak Buffalo defense anyway against their third and fourth stringers doesn't even go 50%? Whoa, wait, we got Prime Jr., 9 of 11 for 74 yards, 1 touch and 1 interception. Fabulous, 9 of 11, 70, a bunch of dump-offs. And Dylan Gabriel, only 0 for 1. They're not playing him. Yeah, I think he's a little better than Prime Jr., and Watson looks like shit. So Cleveland will probably not win a game this year. Baltimore 13, Minnesota 3. Love the under here. Minnesota, a great under team. Baltimore, wait and see. It is a defensive coach they got, this Jesse Minter, but he's still stuck with Lamar, so who knows. Baltimore, Joe Fagnano, 15 to 20, 123 yards and a touchdown. Now, I'm going to give you an interesting stat. This guy was at Connecticut. They actually were a good team last year with him. And he was actually like 25 touchdowns and 1 pick. This is a very good quarterback. Went to Connecticut. Tyler Huntley, 5 of 8, 63 yards is good. And A. Reed, 1 of 2, 7. I don't know who this guy is. So Fagnano is a very, he's very good. You had Daggio. Why? I don't know why you let him go. He's better than Fagnano, but Fagnano is very good. Minnesota, boy, are they suck. Max Brausmer, who's third string at Minnesota in college, 11 to 17, 98 yards and a pick. Carson Wentz, 9-11, 92 yards. And J.A. McCarthy, 5 of 10, 81 yards in a fucking preseason game against 4 stringers. He's 5 of 10. So why do I look? Why am I wasting everybody's time looking at preseason? For that reason. McCarthy, 5 of 10, 81. Now we know he sucks, but I'm looking at who's their other quarterbacks. All right. Why isn't Kyler Murray playing? It's a whole lot different in a game than practice with him and Jefferson. Brosmer stinks. Wentz stinks. Minnesota's in trouble if Kyler Murray gets hurt, which he normally does. Atlanta, 34, Indy, 6. Huge game for Atlanta. Now, I don't expect Penix to play because he's got his knee. Atlanta, Strand, 12 of 17, 212 yards and a touchdown. I like him, but I don't know who he is. Cooper Rush, 10 of 11, 86 yards. Both better than Tagliabue. Where's Tagliabue? He's new to Atlanta. He sucks anyway. Why isn't he playing? In Indy, Riley Leonard, 7 of 14, 62 yards. And Richardson against the 4th team of Atlanta, 3 of 9, 24 yards. How pathetic is Richardson? Why is he on the team? Just let him go. Let him go back to college or wherever. Back to Florida. The Rams, 34, New Orleans, nothing. Another live dog, Rams with Buffalo. That was my big bet. Well, didn't bet it, but my big talk. The Rams, A. Cook, 100-yard interception return for a touchdown in the 3rd quarter. And that would have been against probably Zach Wilson. So Spencer Rattler stinks, 14 of 23, 141 and an interception. Zach Wilson from BYU was drafted by the JETSs and stuck, 6 of 12, 1 interception. I didn't know Tyler Shaw didn't need practice. Against the Rams, Stenson Benson got the call this time. 19 of 31, 181 yards. That's my boy. Ty Simpson, 8 of 12, 73 yards. I still like Stenson Benson. You got to go Georgia over Alabama. Way to go, Stenson. The Giants, 26, Miami 3. Miami's just pathetic. Let's see. The Giants, Winston, what is he doing? 15 of 21, 150 yards. Brian Allen, I guess, 13 of 18, 101. And Jake Hayner, who I loved in college, Fresno State, 3 of 3, 15 yards. I'd get rid of Winston. Hayner's good. And whoever this Bryce Allen or Bruce Allen is. Dart did play last week. Dart needs practice. Dart needs to learn to get down and not be more than a runner. I would take Hayner over Dart all day. Miami, C. Miller, 6 of 11, 60 yards. Gronkowski, 2 of 5, 1. You've added Willis. Why isn't he playing? He hasn't played. He's barely played for Green Bay. He had a good playoff game, and that's about it. And here you have Gronkowski from Bowling Green, 2 of 5 for 1 yard, and this Miller guy, 6 of 11 for 60. That's all they had. They barely had the ball, and you got rid of Tag. Willis isn't your answer, but they think it is. I don't know. It's going to be a battle for worst team. The Jets, Miami, Tennessee, Indianapolis. Just go down the list. Daniel Jones isn't saving Indianapolis. The Bears and Cincinnati. This was my lock over, 37.5. We teased it to 31.5, 27-9, 36. Boy, I'm getting good in preseason. I might have to start betting it. 27-9 Cincinnati, and no, Joe Burrow did not play. Chicago, Miller Moss from USC, 13 of 21, 103 yards. Case Keenum, 9 of 17, 119. And Caleb, 2 of 5, 28 yards. There you go. Caleb played. Cincinnati, no Joe Burrow. This Josh Johnson, who sucks, 15 of 23, 156, 2 touchdowns. And Sean Clifford from Penn State, who's terrible, 10 of 15, 120. If Burrow gets hurt, they're in big trouble. Unless their other quarterback is Joe Flacco. Maybe it is Joe Flacco. I think it could be. Receiving. No, you didn't have Chase out there. No Burrow, no Chase. So we did see Caleb out there, which is good. These guys need their work. I'm sorry. Oh, they're going to get hurt. So what are you going to do in the first game? They're not going to get hurt that much. You're not going to play them because they might get hurt. Go coach golf or tennis or something. Christ. New England 24, Philly 21. Good game there. Too bad it's not on TV. And let's see what we got. Philly, Tanner McGee from, I believe, Stanford, 16 of 22, 173 yards, 2 picks. He could be your quarterback because we know Hurts stinks. Andy Dalton, 3 of 10, 44 yards. And C. Payton, I don't know who this guy is, 101, 10 yards. New England, Brenton Morton from Texas Tech, 13 of 17, 129. And Danny DeVito is on New England now, 8 of 15, 151 and a touch. So they got Morton's very good. I think he's Texas Tech. Philly, if you got to use Tanner McGee, you're in trouble. Andy Dalton, but if you are counting on Jalen Hurts, you're fucked. So pretty good game. Tampa Bay 16, KC 15. Another live dog with KC I hit, getting 9.5. You just, anytime KC's getting points, even in a preseason, in a high school game. All right, Kansas City, Neusmeyer, 9 of 17, 74 yards from LSU. Fields, oh my God, 9 of 12, 64 yards. And Ola Dakin, who's from South Dakota State, 5 of 16, 15 yards and an interception. He's not good. Fields, oh my God. And Neusmeyer was decent at LSU, but he didn't play much. Surprise, no Mahomes. Tampa Bay. The other Jalen Daniels from Kansas, he looks pretty good. 9 of 14, 71 yards and a touchdown. He looked good last week. Browning from Louisville, 8 of 11, 84 yards. And the Bakers out there, 2 of 4, 10 yards. There you go. Another starter who's getting acclimated. But I'll tell you, this Jalen Daniels from Kansas is pretty good. Although the one I like is Bean from Kansas is better than Daniels. Dallas, 34, Arizona, 13. Another shit team in Arizona. And let's see who their quarterback is. Did Carson Beck play? Dallas, Joe Milton, 9 of 13, 179 and 2 touchdowns. This guy was at Michigan. He sucked. Went to Tennessee. He sucked. This is against Arizona, the worst defense in the league. Sam Howell from North Carolina, 7 of 10, 65 yards. He stinks. but they got Dak. Arizona, Gardner Minshew, 19 to 23, 177 and a pick. And Slovis from USC, 2 of 7, 30 yards. Where's Carson Beck? Why isn't he out there? He did get a minor injury a couple of weeks ago. Where's Haynes King? Why wasn't he out there? So the real good quarterbacks, they're not playing. I guess they don't want to get him hurt. Maybe that's it with Carson Beck. Slovis, no good. He's good, but he's just not it. And Gardner Minshew, we know has played a lot. We will see. But I would prefer Carson Beck to Minshew. Dallas has they just have Dak. I throw 2 interceptions a game out there with CeeDee Lamb and Parsons. So that's your preseason. Let's look at, today we got Tennessee 4.5 over Seattle. I would give you Seattle and 10.5 if you're interested in betting a teaser in preseason. Seattle's in big trouble. Nobody's talking about. I hear on the radio they're talking, well, they won the Super Bowl last year. They got rid of Kenneth Walker. They lost their best player. So don't act like, well, because they won the Super Bowl last year, they're going to win it this year without their best player. Are you out of your mind? And apparently a lot of their defensive studs went free agent and aren't on the team anymore. The coach is So I don't buy Seattle. I buy the Rams ahead of Seattle. Everybody's on the Niners. I don't know why. McCaffrey's stud and Brock Purdy's okay, not great. You did add Mike Evans from Tampa as a receiver, so you have a receiver. Your defense, the fact Bosa is back, he'll be back for 2 or 3 games, and then he's toast. I mean, he doesn't play a whole year. He's always injured. Him and his brother, I've never seen 2 bigger scam artists, with the fake injuries. But they're always injured. They did that shit at Ohio State, the guy. Second game, one of the Bozas hurts his leg or his knee, and he's out the rest of the year. Doesn't even play the Michigan game. What a joke that guy is. I think he's on Buffalo now faking injuries. They're always faking injuries. Why play when I can sit and get paid? So if we look at week 1, which now we're getting flavor. All right, so we have Geno Smith for the JETSs. So let's look at the line. Week 1. Now we can reevaluate a little bit more of what we're seeing. Not a lot, but a little bit more. We know most of it. So we've got Seattle 3.5, 44.5 at home against New England on Wednesday night. Why are you playing on Wednesday? It just throws these players off because you play Wednesday, then you play the following Sunday. You're out of sync. Why isn't it Thursday? Oh, because we got to play the Australia game on Thursday. Okay. New England, so as of last year, they're both A teams. New England with the 9 defense, Seattle with the 17. Drake May against Darnell. New England was 19-2 in a teaser last year. Seattle 17-3. Now, are they the same team? Absolutely not. You've lost Kenneth Walker. That's a huge mistake. It's a huge loss. You do have Charbonnet, and you drafted somebody in the 5th round. Who knows? He won't be Kenneth Walker. So you have Darnell back down to earth. He won't be able to rely on Kenneth Walker. With Kenneth Walker in the game, you've got to play it honest. You got to play for the run. Now he's not in there. You don't play for the run. So I don't know. The way it looks, I'd be leaning towards New England a lot more as a dog in this game because of you lost Kenneth Walker. Seattle's never been a very strong home team. With the Legion of Boom, they were a good home team. And since then, they've been a terrible home team. And again, we get the real Darnold. Look out. So I'd say Seattle will go to a B team. New England will be an A team with A.J. Brown and some other additions. Frisco at the Rams, at Australia. What the fuck is that all about? The Rams 3.5, 48.5. Again, you've got Myles Garrett. The Rams were an over team. I got to make them an A team with Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald probably coming back. Against the Niners, a B team with the 24 defense. Purdy against Stafford. Pukanuka. An edge to the Rams. I don't know what this Australia is all about. But look for the Rams to be the best team in the league with Kansas City and Denver. I mean, they got the quarterback, they got the defense, they got the running, they got Pukanuka, they got the coach, they got everything. The Niners, I am not a Shanahan fan. A guy chokes more games than anybody I've ever seen. He can get the lead, but he can't hold it. Tampa Bay, Cincinnati 4.5, 51.5. Tampa Bay was an under team last year with the 23 defense and the Baker, but you've lost Mike Evans. And Cincinnati, an over team with the 24 defense, and you got rid of Hutchinson. He's now on Buffalo, and you got Burrow and Chase. You got some good defense that you added in the draft. That'll take a little bit of time to get together, but I still think we're going to be betting Cincinnati over with Burrow and Chase. Just bet the talent. The Bears, 2.5, 47.5 to Carolina. I'd like to see Haynes King take over at Carolina. He's their best quarterback. The Bears, an E team with a 22 defense. Caleb against Steve Young. Carolina, an under team with the 22 defense also. But they look like they're getting better quarterbacks than Steve. They got to get rid of Steve Young. And defensively, I'm not sure. So we'll see. They're getting a little better, Carolina. It's not an automatic bet against them like they were a few years ago. Cleveland at Jacksonville. Jacksonville 7.5, 40.5. As we are seeing, Cleveland is probably going to be a W team. They give up 22 a game, but you've lost Myles Garrett, and they stink. Prime Jr. is terrible, and then you got Deshaun Watson, who was 8 of 14 yesterday against the third or fourth string. I mean, what the fuck is that? Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence stinks. I like to see the other guy as quarterback. A 17 defense. I don't know if that's real or the fact you played Indy twice and Tennessee twice, who can't score a touchdown. So that's 4 shutouts you have. So are you really that good? Against Buffalo, then they lose like 33-30 or 36-30 or something. So I don't buy their defense as a 17 against a decent team. And that's the little difference we have to check when we're looking at it. We can't play macro. We got to play micro. So we can't just say, well, they got a 17 defense. They'll play well. Not against Buffalo, not against good, Cincinnati. They're not going to hold them to 17. So you got to be careful with that. We got Detroit 6.5, 49.5 to New Orleans. New Orleans, a B team with the 18 defense, Tyler Shaw. Detroit, an over team with the 28 defense in golf. And again, Detroit can't stop the wind. Tyler Shaw will have a big day. I love Kellen Moore as a good coach. He should have been the quarterback here, but they had Stafford. They should have traded Stafford, and it went to Kellen. But Kellen Moore, he played one game for Dallas, threw for 400 yards, and then broke his ankle, and that was it. But he got his opportunity. Very good, smart mind from Boise. Seems like a very good coach. We'll see. We'll see what they do this year. Buffalo, Houston. We now have Houston a 1.5-point favorite. I got to change this. Houston 1.5, 44.5. I loved Houston as a home dog. No, I don't love them as a favorite. Total of 45. It's hard to go under with Buffalo, but easy to go under with Houston. Let's see how live of a dog Buffalo is. Josh Allen against Stroud. Huge edge to Josh Allen. Houston 17-2 in a teaser, 33-5 in a teaser the last 2 years. Houston, excellent defense, no quarterback. I question the coach. But you got Buffalo. It's a very live dog. They played Denver well and Jacksonville well. Denver's got a fairly good defense as compared to Houston. It's pretty close, and they were able to light it up. So Josh Allen, we'll see. Houston will blitz all over the place. So the one team that can give Josh Allen trouble is a team like Houston with this great defense. The battle of the Z teams, the JETSs in Tennessee. Tennessee 2.5, 39. Probably both teams are terrible. Somebody has to win. What do I got? I got 2.5, 39. I've got the Jets, a Z team with the 38 defense, and Geno Smith's not going to help. They couldn't win with Aaron Rodgers. Tennessee, a W team with a 30 defense. So both these teams suck defensively. Cam Ward stinks. Play against Tennessee as a home favorite is 10-2. Play against Tennessee for 2 years is 30-4. Play against the JETSs last year was 19-2. Or 17-2, I guess. You got two lousy teams, very badly coached, no quarterback. Cam Ward's not an NFL quarterback. I don't care if he was taken 1 or 100th. Tom Brady was 7th round, so you can't really go by that, can you? So, I don't buy Cam Ward as all that. Again, he was nothing at, Washington State? Baltimore, 3.5, 47.5. To Indy. We got Baltimore 21 defense, a B team. Indy, a W team with a 30 defense. Lamar against Jones, two pretty pathetic quarterbacks there. Although Baltimore is a good road favorite, 14-2, but that's under Harbaugh. You got a new coach, Jesse Minter, who's a defensive guy from Michigan. I don't know what kind of head coach he's going to be. Atlanta, Pitt 3.5, 42.5. Atlanta an under team mostly because Penix is not there. Tua won't do shit. 25 defense should get a little better. And Pitt, B team with a 21 defense. The problem comes in with the new coach. McCarthy's terrible. Aaron Rodgers, we'll see. And we got to see TJ Watt in the defense. So Pitt, decent team. I mean, we love Pitt, but I don't know. We got to see who the running back is, the receivers. Is DK Metcalf still there? I don't know. All right, Arizona, San Diego, another Z team in Arizona. San Diego, 10.5, 46.5. Arizona, another Z team, 37 defense, and we don't know who's starting, Brissett or Carson Beck. I hope it's Carson Beck. San Diego, an under team with an 18 defense and an 18 offense, and Herbert. And if they have to go to Trey Lance, they're done. I don't know how anybody could rank this team ahead of Denver. They're out of their minds. So I don't know. San Diego, they don't score. Miami at Oakland. Oakland 4.5, 40.5. Up from 3. Oh, the money's going on Oakland. Don't know why. Miami, a W team, 28 defense, and Willis, who we're not sold on. Yeah, he looked good on Green Bay for a game and a half because he practiced it. He's got a good offensive coordinator, the head coach. But let's see what he does at Miami. I don't even know who their offensive coordinator is. They suck. Just a terrible team. Oakland, a Z team, 25 defense. Mendoza threw an 80-yard pick six yesterday. 25 defense. So I think Oakland's defense could be better, although we don't know if Max Crosby's playing. He had the hurt knee and he couldn't get traded to Baltimore. Doesn't really want to be there. There's a lot of these players that all of a sudden you're hearing don't want to be there. I tell them all the fuck off. I'm paying you. Okay, I won't pay you then. If you say I won't pay you, let's see if they still say I don't want to be here. I didn't want to be at a lot of my jobs, but they paid me, so I showed up. All right. So Miami's just terrible. Another Z team. And so is Oakland. But we'll see. I'm not buying Mendoza. I don't think he's all that. He's not the number one pick in the draft. Tagovailoa was. And I don't know what the fuck's going on with Tagovailoa. He's better than 90% of these quarterbacks. We got Minnesota, 1.5, 40. Green Bay was favored, and I did like Minnesota as a home dog. We got Kyler Murray against Love. We had Green Bay, an E team without Micah Parsons, and a 27 defense. With Micah Parsons, they're probably a 20 defense. We'll have to see. Minnesota, an under team with a 10 defense. With Kyler Murray, maybe they do better than 24. We'll have to see. They have Jefferson, so I'm sure he's happy. J.J. McCarthy was terrible. What a terrible draft pick. And I said that in my draft video. I thought it was the worst pick I've ever. He went 8th in the draft. Like, what made you think he was any good? Oh, they won the national. They won the national title running, not with McCarthy. He didn't do shit. He wasn't a good quarterback. He was never a good quarterback that I'm going to draft him in the first round. He's going to be my starter. You out of your fucking minds. These guys were played if they thought he was the reason Michigan won the title. Oh, my God. Well, when he handed the ball off and the guy had 4 touchdowns against Washington, like 40 yards, at what point did McCarthy look like a first-round draft pick in that game? So, I don't know. Without Micah Parsons, it makes Green Bay a very, kind of a weak defense, a 27. Jordan Love's adequate. He's average at best. A lot of these quarterbacks are just average. Philly, 4.5, 46.5. This line dropped probably because Daniels looks like he'll be playing and Hurts stinks. Washington was a Z team last year. We'll go to an O team, over team with Daniels. Their defense still stinks, 26, but they'll score 30 points a game with Daniels. Philadelphia, an under team with a 15 defense. They're going to run Barkley a lot. Hurts is very bad. The defense saves them, the Georgia defense. But all they got is Barkley. Dallas and the Giants, I'm not sure why Dallas is favored here. Dallas, 2.5, 48.5. Dallas, an over team, weak defense, 34, and Dak. Against the Giants, an under team with a 21 defense, and Jackson Dart, who, when I read through the box score, whoever I liked was got to be better than Jackson Dart. In our last game, KC, 2.5, 42.5. Denver, an under team with a 21 defense. Bo Nix, very, very underrated, very good quarterback. And Kansas City, we got Mahomes back, an under team with a 19 defense. And you've added Kenneth Walker. So they go to an A. Denver will be an A. They'll both be A's this year. They're probably the best 2 teams in the AFC. I know everybody likes Buffalo, but they don't have a defense. Baltimore, they don't have a quarterback. Cincinnati, maybe if their defense shows up. You always got to watch out for Cincinnati. anytime you got Burrow and Chase, they can beat you. Now it's a question of they had a good draft with their defense, and they got rid of Hendrickson, who I think was a cancer to the team, and will be a cancer to Baltimore. I remember watching one game and Hendrickson sitting out and Burrow's talking to him and laughing with them like, what the fuck? I'm here. We can win. Why don't you play? So Hendrickson's just, he's just there for the money, which we saw that with Scooble. It doesn't work. Real quickly, I have noticed Scooble the last couple of starts, he's pitched 109 pitches. And he's trying to go 7 innings. So he's trying to show he's not a crybaby. Oh no, I'm a real good pitcher. I can pitch 7 innings, but he can't win. He did win the other day, 4-3 over Pittsburgh, and he went like 107 pitches in 7 innings or 6 innings. Breakfast with the professor. So that's what we see with Scooble. But in football, if you give Cincy if they drafted a good defense or traded for, they can easily be KC, Denver, Cincinnati. Burrow is better than Josh Allen, and he's got Chase, which Josh Allen doesn't. It all comes down to the defense. So if Cincy found a defense, look out. You don't want to be betting against him too much because he'll pick anybody apart, and that's the idea of having the good quarterback. So we will see. So with the preseason, we're really just looking at Haynes King looks good. Carson Beck looked good. And then you see like San Diego, and they got Trey Lance and Uglia and you're going, are you guys actually thinking Uglia is any good? At what point was he good at Florida State? They broke his finger so he couldn't play. At what point was he good at Clemson? And at what point was he good at Oregon State? He sucked everywhere he's been. Oh, well, he came out of high school. He was the top-rated core. Yeah, and he sucked in college, just like underwear at Michigan. He sucks at Michigan. We'll see now. You got the Utah coach. I wouldn't play underwear. I don't think he's any good. I would go with Carr, Carr's brother from Notre Dame, and Lloyd Carr, the grandfather who coached at Michigan. I would like to see Carr. I think you'll win with Carr. You're not going to win with underwear. So you got to get past the reputation or they were good in high school. This isn't high school. When you get a big, fast guy in high school and the other guys are tiny, doesn't mean they're going to be good in college, and certainly doesn't mean they're going to be good in pros. Arch Manning's a good example. He's terrible. You'll watch the Ohio State game. How about Georgia? He got 10 points. So watch him against the good teams. That's how you view the quarterback, not how he did against Arkansas State. So anyway, that's what we got to keep our eye on is the quarterbacks and the coaches. So we'll keep an eye on it, but I think Seattle is going to be in big trouble without Kevin Walker. And I think KC's number one in the AFC. I heard something where Buffalo was 1 and Baltimore was 2, and I'm like, it was from The Athletic. It was on the radio, and I almost got in an accident. Like, you guys out of your fucking minds? You don't even have KC in Denver. They didn't even have Denver on the list. What are you looking at? You think San Diego is better than Denver? You think the guy's better than Bo Nix and better than Sean Payton and better defense? Are you out of your fucking mind? Denver's defense is a 21, but they had to play Buffalo in that last game before the championship game. It would have been a better Super Bowl, Denver and Seattle, than what you got with New England. New England, I'm not sold on Drake May. I don't know. Everybody's so excited. He beat the worst schedule in the league, and he did okay. He didn't do great. The only reason they beat Houston is because CJ Stroud, doesn't quite understand what the fuck he's doing out there and throwing pick sixes when you have the best defense. Houston's got the best defense. So when we look at that, it's New England's a good one. Seattle's a good one. I'm not sure if New Orleans is a good one. We'll find out. I'm not sold on Jacksonville. Houston, I'm sold on. Minnesota, Philadelphia, definitely. San Diego, and then Denver and Kansas City. Those are your defensive teams. Those are the teams we bet on, or we bet unders on them. Houston, we like betting unders a lot because they have no quarterback and they have a great defense. Give them what, just call it like you see them. Great defense. CJ Stroud sucks. Too many interceptions. Once in a while, I have a big game, but I think it's the defense. When they score a lot, it's like a lot of pick sixes, a lot of turnovers, and Houston gets the ball at the 10-yard line. Let's say that's when they're good. Anyway, so that's really week one of football. We'll look at we look at the box scores. We're not looking at the third string running backs or receivers. We don't really care about them. But we are trying to find out who the quarterbacks are and what they got. We are very confused about Dagiopava, why he's not getting a chance. It sounds like collusion, and it's very bad with the lack of good quarterbacks in the league. And here's one, and you're not taking him. He's too small. He's the same height as CJ Stroud and the same height as Steve Young on Carolina and Kyler Murray. He's right there, and they're in the league. He certainly can run as good as those guys, and he's a much better passer. I don't know. He was second in the Heisman, and he single-handedly beat Alabama, killed Tennessee in that last game. And he won at New Mexico fucking State. See, he's one where he's good at college, so he's going to be good in the pro. Unlike a lot of these guys like Buglia, who just sucks in college. And what is San Diego doing with the guy? We'll teach him. You're not going to teach him. He stinks. He doesn't have the skill set to read a defense and throw it and not get intercepted. Complete the pass. He can complete little passes to the backs coming out of the backfield. All right. So that is football. Again, so we've looked at college. Your free play is the Boise, Oregon over. It's 52, so we're going over 46. I think that's what it is. Boise is going to be good this year. Their defense is a little weak, which is why we love the over here. Boise will be able to score on Oregon. Oregon's not that good. They're ranked number one. They will not finish number one. Indiana will probably be number one again because they'll just reload. They have the defensive scheme. They got the running, the receivers, and they got a better quarterback than they had last year. Hoover is much better than Mendoza. Mendoza was he was nothing at Cal. Nothing. He wasn't like if there was a Pac-10, I don't remember. He wouldn't even be the best quarterback in the Pac-10. So I don't know why he was the number one. It makes no sense. It's like Cam Ward. They are not that good a quarterback. He goes to Oakland, which is probably okay. There's no expectations there. And we will see. Baseball, your free play. Philadelphia under 8.5, 4 units. Cleveland, 3 units. The Cubbies, 3 units after that disaster last night. Look for them to play better and not pitch to a Rose Arena. That was just pathetic. That was just stupid coaching. Again, you have your pitcher and you bring in their bullpen and he sucks. How many games do your bullpen have to lose for you? And then they wonder why they get fired. I was talking. So we're looking at these wars. They're very expensive. I think everybody understands the U.S. is bankrupt. Nobody wants their treasuries. I don't think anybody wants their money. Um, the best thing you can do is get the fuck out of this before nobody accept. If you're traveling, good luck getting it accepted. And I think your credit cards will still work, but there's a nice charge on them. Again, what you're trying to do is it's about value. That's why I started the class with this. This is about value. What's it worth? It's kind of like what's it worth in gold, not in dollars. I want to trade it. Now, if I do trade it for dollars, I immediately want to trade the dollars for gold. I don't want to sit in dollars that are worthless. So just think about it. You got 100 grand or your 401k is 300 grand. It's not worth anything. So these guys that sit there, like I told you about Luke Roman, and he sits there with, well, I got 25 in cash and 25% in stocks and 25% in gold, 25% in real estate. And you sit there and you go, well, the cash is worthless. The stock market's about to crash and your real estate's shit. Oh, yeah, unless you own a farm, which we, of course, all own farms. Why wouldn't we own a farm? You're buying a house in the suburbs. You're not buying a farm. So your house will lose value in dollars. And it's all about the dollar being traded. And there goes your value. So that's really what you're doing. You're trading this for the card or for gold or for groceries. That's what you're doing. That's all money is. It's a value. It's something that you trade with. So that's why you don't kill the dollar. What are you doing? That's the last thing you do is you don't hurt your currency. You can't trade it. So these idiots keep printing the currency and it makes it worthless. So now I can't use it for its purpose. The purpose of the currency of money is to trade it for goods and services. Say's law. I go to work, I make money, and then I go spend the money, and hopefully I spend less than I make, and then I can have fun with the rest of the money. I can go golfing, go on a vacation, buy gold and silver, buy a Picasso, buy a Rolex, buy mantle cards. That's the idea, is to make more money than you need, and then you live a better life. But if you destroy the money, you fucked yourself if it's in cash, if it's still on the Titanic. So if the Titanic's sinking and I go from the second deck to the third deck, I'm still sinking. Or if I got into the lifeboat, I'll survive. So if I get out of cash, if I'm still in paper or stocks or bonds or cash in the bank, I'm still going to sink. The only way I don't sink is if I was smart enough to put it into real assets, to get out of dollars and go into Mano cards and Rolexes and gold and silver, specifically gold and silver. You should buy a lot of gold and silver because that's what you're going to use, because you need to trade it. What the new dollar will be, I don't know. You can't trust Trump at all. We don't want anything digital that's not, forget that it's digital. The fact it's not backed by anything. Stablecoin is not worth anything. It's backed by the dollar, which is worthless. Well, it's the reserve currency. I don't care. You can't print 100 trillion of them and expect it to have value. Nobody wants it now. If it's in paper or digital, nobody wants it. Nobody wants it in digital. Nobody will want stable coins. China's like, fuck off. We're not going to Bitcoin or stablecoin. You can't have that in China. And they're smart. They realize that. So Bitcoin is not going to save your day. Oh, it's 60,000. It's not worth anything. $60,000 is worthless. What is a Bitcoin? You don't know. Let's just face the facts. I can see my mantle card. I know what it looks like. What's my Bitcoin look like? I have no idea. It's not even real. Oh, but it says it's worth 60 grand. Based on what? Based on Michael Saylor and Larry Fink buying options in it but it's not, just so people will get in it and then they can sell it and make money on it, but it's really not worth anything. It's really not real. And this is your problem. So you want to be in gold and silver to protect yourself because your dollar can no longer be traded, or it takes so many dollars to buy a can of tuna. That's it. Now, when these idiots start talking deflation and it's bad if the prices go down, it's not bad. It's nobody wants to pay higher. Like, if Coca-Cola goes to $5 for a 2 liter, nobody's going to pay it. Nobody wants it. So it goes back down to $2.50 or whatever. 2 for $5. That's the Coke price. That's what people will pay for it. Why don't you just market $2.50 a bottle? Grocery stores. What a bunch of idiots running those, huh? So again, the price is based on us, what we're willing to pay for it. What are you willing? The value of this is what you're willing to buy it from me for. And if you say $2, I'll say no. You say 10 grand, I'll say, I'll think about it. When we go to 20 grand, I'll go, okay, because this is probably a PSA 9. It's mint condition. It's very limited. It's 1964, and it's mantle, mirrors, K-line, and cash. So that's what I would expect for a mint condition card. Once we determine that the price is fair for both parties, we then make the transaction. So you're trading me dollars, or I'd prefer gold, and I'm giving you an asset that can't be printed because it's 1964 and it's got Mickey Mantle on it. So there's your demand. And that's the whole point of the value. So if I get a dollar that has no value, it's not worth anything. So when I show you this is all this is worth. This is worth one penny. This is not, the dollar's worth a penny. $100 is worth $1. It's lost 100% of its value, basically. It's almost saying 99%. What's the difference? It has no value. Nobody wants it. And that's what's going to happen. The foreigners will start pulling their stocks. Nobody's buying treasuries because there's no value in it. Why should I take $100,000 in euros and buy worthless dollars for? Even though my euro is worthless, I'd still rather buy gold than treasuries. And how am I going to get paid back? I have a treasury for a 2-year treasury, 5%, let's say. Oh boy, I made 5% of monopoly money. And then to try to get my money back is not going to work. But that doesn't stop Luke Roman. He wants treasuries. He's got 25%, and he was proud of it. And you wonder, what the fuck, this guy, and you want to listen to this guy, be my guest. And then he makes up names. Well, it's Hamiltonian economics. No, it's called Keynesianism, whatever you want to call it, and it doesn't work. And the neoliberalism, which you made that name up, is really Austrian economics, which is the only thing that works. You need the free market. You need to have competition. You need to choose. That's Austrian economics. I don't know what he's talking about. Neoliberalism, it's dead. And he's smiling about it. And he's just a Keynesian. And you can't listen to Keynesians. The same thing with that other guy. What's his name? The bald guy. He's a Keynesian also. Most of these guys, they don't even know what a Keynesian or an Austrian is. They're just idiots. Dan Maloney and Peter Schiff and all these guys are just Alligator McLeod. I don't know what he is. He's not Austrian. He's strange. It's not gold going up. It's dollar going down. No, it is gold going. As I said, if the dollar goes up or down, it has no bearing on this. This is bearing because of its own supply and demand. Gold has value based on its own supply and demand. If there's a lot of demand for gold, the price goes up. It has nothing to do with the dollar. The price goes up because the market says, I want to buy, and the supply is short and the demand's high and the price is high. It's got nothing to do. Oh, wait, if the dollar went down $1, gold goes up $1. What is he on? Some fantasy land? He's on drugs? The fuck is he talking about? So when people say that it's the dollar going down, not gold going up, they're out of their fucking minds. Gold is a market just like the mantle. This is a market. This is based on demand and supply in the physical world, and that's what gold needs is a physical supply and demand, not the paper, not the 4 million supply of the paper market, but the 200,000 ton supply in the physical market. And that's the real price of gold. That's why when you ask me about silver, you're buying physical, and the physical price of silver is huge, much higher than $69. Add at least 1 zero to it. It's at least, I'm going to call it 1,000. I know we got to get to 500 first, but it's going. Nobody thought we'd get over 50. We reached 120, and then they proceeded to price fix it down. That's all JP Morgan does. And yeah, they're buying for the Fed. The Fed wants it down because they want us in Bitcoin and they want us in stocks. Well, fuck you. I'm not going to be in stocks in that. So again, we don't care about that. That's not the important thing. So anyway, that's really what the market is. It's about value. You want to hold things with value. You want to you buy the mantle card because you know the value will go up because it's mantle and K-line, and then you get a better condition card because it's more limited. So a more limited mantle card is worth a lot more than a less limited mantle card. So that's how you choose your investments. Your gold, because that's the king. That's why it's the gold standard. Because they know to back the dollar with gold or to have gold because it's limited and there's high demand. And to quote this Luke Gromit guy again, we did not use Hamilton economics, and Hamilton was not running his thing the first 40, 50 years. It was always Austrian economics and Thomas Jefferson. Hamilton wanted a central bank, and they got rid of that. I think it came in early 1800s and went out in the early 1800s. But it was Jefferson economics, which is Austrian economics. It's the only economics that works. That's why the United States is great, and that's why the other countries who used it, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, the Amsterdammers, the British, they used it. They got all the gold. That gave them wealth. That gave them good value. That made them strong because the wealthy are the strongest, right? And then as they started to get off of that, that was the problem, right? When they started selling their gold and going to war, the Keynesians came in, got them into the wars. And as you can see, Rome, they debased their currency where they got took the gold and silver out of their dollars. I love hearing these idiots like Luke Roman talk about debasing the currency as if you can debase dollars. They think the basing is lowering the value of it. It's not. The basing is taking the gold and silver out of the coin. So denarius, which is 1 ounce of gold, and I take the gold out, and now it's no gold. It's copper or the silver, and that's debasing the currency. Not printing money is inflation, and yet they don't understand that. It just blows my mind, and they want to come across as economists. And see, they can't. Somebody like me who understands exactly what they're talking about tells them to go fuck off because they're wrong. But most people don't understand that, and then they talk gibberish. Well, we're using Hamilton economics. What the fuck is that? I had no idea. I never heard of it before. So I checked it out, and it's Keynesian. And I read that to you yesterday, where Hamilton economics, the difference between Hamilton and Jefferson. Jefferson's free trade, low taxes, low government, rule of law must be in the Constitution in gold. Where have you heard that before? Oh, yeah, Austrian economics. Hamilton, high tariffs. Well, we want free trade. High tax, we want low taxes. Big government, we want low government. A monarchy, he wants a king. and nationalists, where we don't trade with anybody. And that doesn't work. It's never worked. So that don't try to make it out like Hamilton economics is good, which is not even the name. It's called Keynesian, which has never worked. It can't work. It caused us to be in a depression from 1929 to 1945. We were using Keynesian economics and we were in a Great Depression caused by high taxes and war and no gold and big government and government spending on roads and stuff like that. We built Hoover Dam. How did that work out? So it doesn't work. It can't work. The only thing that can work is free markets where we're free and there's competition so other people can jump in and compete. There can be 10 grocery stores and 20 restaurants, and we go, oh, we like this one better. And we choose. We're free to choose. That's Austrian economics. We're free to choose, and there's competition to choose it. When you get socialism or communism, the government says, no, we don't need competition. We're going to have monopolies, which is JP Morgan. And we'll have one Chinese restaurant and one pizza parlor, one blue shirt, and there'll only be one guy that can make it. We will not have free trade. Well, you have free trade because you need other items. If Germany had everything, they wouldn't have went to Russia to try to steal their oil. It's the same thing the U.S. is doing. Why do we get champagne from France? Because we don't have it here. We can't grow champagne the way the French can, and all the other things. Everything else, spices from China, things from Germany, things from Austria, things from Argentina, beef, and all the, you can only get it in one place. And that's the point. That's why you trade, and it should be free. If I want to trade this card and you're in Germany and you want this card, you're going to give me euro. We want free trade. I don't want to tax you on it. I'm going to trade you this card for your money. And then I'm going to take your money and buy gold and silver with it. So it's a very logical Austrian economics. It's follow the law, follow the Constitution, have gold because you don't want to ruin the money. The whole problem is ruining the money. That's what the U.S. has done. And they've made it worthless. What are you have one job, which is to protect the money and protect the country, and you fuck that up. Oh, we made $1 billion. Well, it doesn't matter. It's not worth anything. That's the real hidden problem that these guys don't see. They don't, because they think because they're the reserve currency, the dollar will hold its value. It won't. You cannot print $100 trillion and have any value in it. You cannot print 20,000 of how many of these were printed, and it holds its value. It has some value. It's a good player. It's a pretty card. But at the end of the day, this holds its value because it's old, so it's limited, and the demand is because it's Mantle, and Mantle has more demand than Patrick Raw, or as I call him, Patty Roy. And that's the thing. And you don't have the demand for the dollar anymore. There is no demand. Nobody wants this. So if nobody wants this, it's worthless, right? If nobody wants this, it's worthless. It's only worth something because somebody will pay for it. Otherwise, it has no value. And guess what? Nobody wants this. You do treasuries, nobody wants it. They're pulling the money out of the stock market, the Japanese, and then everybody else will follow suit very quickly as the market starts diving. So when the market starts collapsing, people will run out. Now, the JP Morgan, who doesn't price fix anything, if you believe that horse shit, is sitting there printing money because they run the Fed. They print the money and buy stocks with it to keep the value of the stock. So you idiots think, the stock market's high, so the economy must be doing well. It's not high. It's low. It's being manipulated by them printing money. All the manipulation that these idiots, Luke Roman doesn't even get. Stock market's manipulated. The bond market's manipulated. The dollar itself is totally manipulated. Gold and silver are manipulated. What part of that do you not fucking understand, moron? And he just smiles and like, I got 25% gold. I got 25% in worthless cash, in worthless stock, and in worthless real estate. Aren't I a genius? And I'm sitting here 90% in gold and silver, the other 10% in that. And I sleep very well. I never worry about gold going down because I know in the physical world it keeps going up. See, that's what's hidden from you. We see the physical price of gold, it's 4,600. It was 56, it went down to 4,000. That's the paper price. The physical price never moves. It never went down. It just keeps going up. Oh, but Howard, we don't know what the physical price is. You're right, but I guarantee you it didn't go down. As we don't know what it is, but we know it didn't go down because there is no physical price. There's no reason. The only way it could go down is if nobody wanted it. But we know everybody wants gold and silver, and it's selling out very quickly. When Pat comes on from Singapore, he makes those comments. Oh, we got 500 stores. They're all full. Everybody's out the door. They're all buying. The demand's huge, and it's worldwide. It's not a U.S. gold price. It's the world gold price. So people in China and Russia and India are just celebrating. Hey, we can still get this for 4,600. It should be 10,000 in physical or higher. That's why when you ask me about silver here, I'm saying it's $1,000 an ounce easy in the world. And forget JP Morgan. And that's why this whole Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai Gold Exchange are working on physical prices of gold and silver because they have it and they want a higher price. They don't want it to drop because JP Morgan's running options. It's just fucked. So take that, Alligator McCloud. JP Morgan might not be price fixing it on their own, but they're getting orders from the Fed and Trump to keep the price down. So they're the ones price fixing it any way you look at it. But that's ending soon. All these wars very expensive, making the dollar worth nothing, which it already is. We're trying to steal oil, which nobody's going to let us walk in and steal oil. Hitler could do it with the Blitzkrieg, and he drove right to the central banks, took their gold and silver, and took it back and put it in the salt mines in Germany, and put it on some gold train and stuff like that. That's what Hitler did, but Trump can't do that. But that's what Trump's doing. So when these idiot analysts, they totally missed the war. It's about stealing gold and oil. That's why we're at war with Russia, who has oil and gold and diamonds, and Iran, who has oil and gold. I don't know about the diamonds. I know Russia's got a lot of diamonds. So that's why we're at war with them. A, they're bricks. B, they got oil. C, they got gold. We're trying to steal it. That's why we went to Venezuela, was to steal their oil. I don't know what good it's going to do because they missed the whole point. The dollar still has no value. So even if you make $1 billion stealing their oil, you're still in dollars. So this is going to be really interesting to see what new dollar comes out of this. They need a new dollar, and it's a stable coin. If the new dollar is stable coin or another paper currency that is backed by nothing, it's still worthless. So don't get fooled. And well, we got a new USD because Putin was counterfeiting it, so we got a new one. Don't kid yourself. That's still worthless. The only thing with value is gold and silver. Don't ever forget that, Michael. That is the key to what has value is the gold and silver. And then we go buy Rolex and Mantle cards because they have value, or Picassos because they will hold their value. But the gold and silver are what make the currency have value, not just printing it and saying, oh, we got a new US dollar and, it's worth this. It's not. It's worthless. We've had the gold standard the whole 1800s to 1913, and we were the most successful country in the history of life. And it was the most successful time for the world. It was like 1870 to 1913 because everybody was on gold and productivity rose 5% for the whole world. And that's the best it's ever done. And it was because of gold and silver, not because of monopoly money. So the euro's dead, the British pound's dead, the Swiss franc is dead. Oh, there was a new one here. Finland is dead. I want to quickly show you this video.
Okay, what I'm about to tell you sounds illegal, but it's not. You know how people call roofing companies just to figure out what it might cost? Yeah, that's literally what I was about to do. Don't. There's this roofing calculator.
Shut the fuck up. So Finland is going broke. Nokia is a cell phone company.
For years, Finland was held up as one of Europe's economic role models, a country known for strong companies, high productivity, low debt, and disciplined public finances. During the Eurozone debt crisis, Helsinki even pushed struggling southern European countries to cut spending and tighten their budgets. But as El Economista reports, Finland's own economic fortunes have since changed dramatically. Today, unemployment is above 10%. Youth unemployment is around 25%, and public debt is approaching 90% of GDP. To understand that, start with Finland's biggest economic success story, Nokia. For years, Nokia was a global technology giant, creating jobs, exports, and huge tax revenues for Finland. But when Apple and other companies transformed the smartphone market, Nokia lost its dominance. At almost the same time, Finland's paper industry began shrinking as the world moved from paper to digital. Two major engines of the Finnish economy were suddenly running out of steam. Then came a problem that was much harder to fix: Finland's aging population. More people were retiring, while the number of working age people was shrinking.
So that's every country. That's Germany, that's France, that's Italy, that's the US, it's the UK, it's Japan. Everybody has that problem because after World War II, there was a baby boom, and all these people, like me, are getting old at the same time. And we all get our Social Security or pensions, as it's called in other countries, and they pay it. Instead of just leaving us alone, letting me keep my 7.65% and retire on that, you stole it from me. And now I want my money, which I don't get nearly what I should be getting, which pays my rent and my credit cards and my food. So that's every country has the same problem with the aging population, the big government, and they all have debt. And so that's what's happening to Finland.
Meant fewer workers paying taxes, while spending on pensions, healthcare, and social support kept rising. Economic growth stayed weak, and Finland struggled to find new industries big enough to replace the ones it had lost. In simple terms, the country had fewer people generating wealth, but more people depending on public spending. And then Russia changed the equation. Finland shares a 1,140-kilometer border with Russia, and for years, that border was an economic connection, as well as a security frontier. Russian tourists came to Finland, businesses traded across the border, and eastern Finnish towns depended heavily on Russian customers and transport. But after Russia invaded Ukraine, Finland joined Western sanctions. Russian tourism collapsed, and trade with Russia plunged. The economic relationship that had once benefited Finland became a major vulnerability. and Finland had to spend more at the same time. The pandemic had already pushed government borrowing higher. Then the war meant higher defense spending, while the loss of Russian trade hit parts of the economy. High interest rates also hurt housing and construction, while worried households started saving instead of spending. Suddenly, Finland was facing weak growth, rising unemployment, and rising debt, all at once, and the comparison with Southern Europe became impossible to ignore. Finland's unemployment is now slightly higher than Spain's, while Portugal's has fallen below 6%. So Finland's economic problem is not one single crisis. It is the combination of several shocks that built up over years. The fall of Nokia, the decline of paper, an aging population, weak growth, and the economic fallout from Russia's war. Now the government is cutting welfare spending and changing labor rules to bring down debt and get more people into work. But that creates another problem. If people have less money to spend, businesses may have less reason to hire. Finland is therefore facing a difficult balancing act. Cut the debt without cutting away the growth it needs to recover. And that is how one of Europe's former economic role models ended up having to rebuild its own model.
So what's really happening is, if you really kind of read between the lines, the internet's killing a lot of businesses, because now it's all going to Google, or going to what do you call it? What's the it's all going to Amazon, right? So Amazon kills a lot of stores that you have. And like, they got rid of paper for digital. So a lot of stuff on the internet, like, I don't know why it's killing paper, but they're using digital instead of using paper. So I don't know what AI is going to destroy. What's not going to be good. AI won't work. AI is a Ponzi scheme. People will go to it to save money. They won't save any money, and it'll start costing a lot of money. And all these data centers, and everybody fears, well, they're capturing all our data. Well, they're doing that now anyway. You do a search on Google, you're searching for baseball bats. Oh, you looked up how much does it cost to go to Vegas. Oh, well, then you start getting all these Vegas ads. I just tell them all the fuck off. I'm not interested. Even now on YouTube, it's like, now it's a minute used to be like 5-10 seconds, and now it's a minute of ads. And I just let me know when my show's back on. So that's what's happening to a lot of countries where they're relying on Nokia and paper. Well, they're using things digitally, and Apple came on, and now everybody's using Apple versus Nokia. And so you can't rely on one. So you got to rely on things that are different. You can't rely on, like, phones, and then here's a change in a better phone. They don't use your phone anymore. So Nokia has to upgrade to what Apple did, and they didn't do it. The paper, they should be able to, now they're using disk or whatever. So it definitely makes it harder. You have to adapt, but they used to have horse and buggies, and then we went to Fords, and then here comes Toyota and Honda, Mercedes, and then Ford goes into the shits, and here comes that. And then, they tried to do it with electric cars, but nobody wants them. That was a stupid idea, because it didn't improve the gas car. Driving my Toyota Camry gas, and you're giving me an electric Toyota, there's no advantage, it's a disadvantage. Hold on, now I got to go find a charging station. I got to go charge it every day. No, it's a waste of time. I'll just use my gas powered car. And that's the difference. So that's what happened to Finland, but it's the same everywhere. The aging population. So now you're not getting the tax revenue in from people working. You're not replacing the workers. And these kids, all they do is buy Bitcoin and play video games all day, aren't really paying taxes. And then you've got Bitcoin going up. So everybody goes into Bitcoin. Again, they don't pay tax unless they sell. And even then, you don't know. And half of them probably don't pay tax. But they're not working. Oh, I made money in Bitcoin. I don't need to go work at General Motors and pay taxes. And then Social Security, I don't pay tax because I get my money back and there's no tax. The gold going up, I don't pay taxes. I only pay tax if I sell it. But now I'm in a 0% capital gains group because I don't make money. I just get Social Security, and that's enough. It pays rent and food and gas and credit cards. That leaves me my gold and silver and my baseball cards that if I want to do something, I can sell an ounce and make money on it. And then I can have the money to, pay down the credit card and go on a trip and stuff like that, buy a Mantle card. And so that's really what's happening. If you're smart enough to get into gold and silver, you saved yourself. Otherwise, you're in money, and what you don't realize is your money's worthless. So the people in Finland are using, it's the same thing. They're going to use the Finnish, freak, only that's not going to help them because that's inflated also because the Finn money and the Swedish money and the Swiss aren't backed by gold and silver. So they need to print a lot of money to pay for their debt, to pay for their taxes, to pay for their Social Security, the government employees, the pensions, all that. They have to pay for that. Well, they print money. And again, as you print money, it's worthless. So every country's going through this similar thing of, well, fuck, I got to pay for all this Social Security and pensions and my big government and my debt because I keep printing money to pay for it. And it's a disaster. It's the only ones who are smart are BRICS because they got gold-backed currency. So they will live because they have the asset of gold, not the paper dollar. The yen or the yuan, the Chinese dollar is not worth anything. It's printed to death. The ruble's ridiculous, as is the Japanese, the yen. The yen and the yuan are both worthless. But what has value is all the gold and silver. And so that's why all the central banks are buying it because they realize that's where the value is in gold and silver because all our dollars are just keep being printed. And, the more we print, the less it's worth. And so the whole world is in it except those in gold. And that's why people are starting to buy gold and why they're kind of keeping the price down because the central banks want to buy it. But there's not anything left, I don't believe. And that's why we start seeing the price go because now it becomes a physical market. Now there's no more options I can buy for gold. I need to buy the physical because the paper gold is worthless because it's in paper. It's dollars. It's worthless. So I could make 100,000 in paper gold in options. Oh, but I'm in this, or I can buy an ETF where I have 100,000 in dollars. Oh, but I can't get the gold. The gold's not there. It's a Ponzi scheme. They're lying to me. They're telling me it's physical gold, but it's not. It's paper. There is no physical gold. Like I said, it's an ETF is, I have 50,000 of these when I only have one. And if you want it, sorry, I can't give it to you. I only have one and it's mine. And the other 50,000 that's on the ETF, it's just make believe and bullshit. I just scammed you. And that's the problem with ETFs and stocks is the same thing. You make money in dollars, and unless you sell it, get out of your Amazon and go buy gold, you're fucked. So 25% in stocks are worthless. Cash is worthless. The real estate's worthless, and the bonds are certainly worthless. So this Luke Roman who has money in bonds, well, he's smarter than us because he's an idiot. what the fuck? This guy doesn't have a brain in his head if he's got bonds or dollars. They're not worth anything. And they can't understand that. They can't understand it's worthless because they have Hamiltonian economics. You mean socialism, and that doesn't work. Yeah, but we'll call it something. Let's call it Hamiltonian economics. We won't call it Keynesians or socialism. We'll call it a different name, and then it must be okay. What a fucking idiot. These people just make me sick because it's frustrating enough to try to teach Austrian economics, but when you're changing the name on it to neoliberalism, yeah, I'm sitting there going, fuck, now I got to explain neoliberalism is Austrian. And we know what that's Adam Smith, that's free markets and capitalism. It's the only thing that's ever worked in 5,000 years, and you're changing the fucking name on it because you're an asshole socialist. Anyway, that's what we're dealing with. So again, baseball, Philadelphia under 8.5, Cleveland and the Cubbies. We'll see what happens. The Yankees, I like under 7.5 today, but we'll see. It all goes down to the 8th and 9th innings with these starters because the managers have their heads so far up their asses, they don't know what they're doing. And so it's hard, and you wonder how much is fixed when the manager pulls the ace and he puts in some guy with the 6 ERA. And you wonder if it's, why'd you put him in there? Are you trying to win? Maybe you're not trying to win. Maybe everything's fixed. I mean, we don't know. Everything's fixed anyway. The gold's fixed, the stock's fixed, the bonds are fixed, the dollar's fixed. What difference does it make? So basically, all the money you win, put it into gold and silver. And Kardec, as much silver as you can buy. Yes, gold, of course, will go up. Try to get 10th or quarter ounce gold. You don't have to buy the whole ounce, 4,600, but a quarter ounce is, 4,800 will be 1,200. Buy that. If you don't have that, just keep buying silver at $70. It's going to go up to 80 soon. Then 90, then 100, then 200, then 500, then 1,000. Any questions or comments? I try to repeat the gold and silver because it's so important. And when you start hearing this Luke Grumman or Ray Dalio or all these Andy Scheckman idiots or Alligator McLeod, I have to keep repeating it because you hear that and you go, oh, Hamiltonian, maybe that's good. No, that's socialism. That's Keynesian. They're just changing the name on you. It's like it used to be first down. Now it's the line to gain. What is that? Where are you coming up with the line to gain? What does that mean? You mean the first down? Oh, so they're trying to get a first down. Oh, well, why don't you just say it? Why do you keep changing? I love baseball. That was a curveball. That was a sweeper, a slider. They changed and like they know all the pitch. Oh, that was a changeup. Fuck, you don't know what he's throwing. What are you talking about? And everybody has to throw 100 miles an hour. That doesn't. When you get major league hitters, they'll hit 100-mile-an-hour pitch. It's just timing, and they know how to hit it, and they will hit it. It doesn't matter if it's 95 to 100. What's the difference? But you're blowing all the pitchers' arms out. Oops. Well, they don't seem to care. Oh, well. We're more worried about spin rate than anything. Yeah, and it's breaking all these guys' elbows. So go fuck off. You're killing these guys. Anyway, that's what's going on. So have a happy Sunday. Good luck on the baseball. We did talk exhibition football. I think the Seattle game is on actually Fox today at, I think, 4:00. My pool is last day for a week. They got to do maintenance on it. Why can't you just do one section of the building? Why do you have to close a whole building? And you got a pool in it, and you got a gym and a basketball court and track and everything. Are you bringing in 1,000 people to clean? And is it going to take a week to clean it? Well, we do a deep cleaning on the swimming pool. Why? It's not dirty. It just blows my mind that they have to drain the pool and mop it up, clean. Like it's got chlorine in the pool. It's fine. You don't need to close it for a fucking week, but they like doing that. Anyway, so I won't be going to my pool for a week, which pisses me off because I like the hot tub and I need my workout. I'll probably go to the lake earlier and like right after class, I'll eat and go to the lake and then come back earlier than I would at the pool, but okay. And that's about it. So good luck. College football. Next week is posted. I got about 4 games posted. I'll have more posted. I do have a lock posted. So if you want to buy the week very soon and get your bets in before the line moves. That's all I can say. And that's it. Looking for another big year. Again, we've got it down to a science. We're looking at defenses and quarterbacks and coaches, but it's an art, not a science. So you can't just formula it away. And that's how you go. So I try to read you. This is an A team and a Z team, so you have an idea. But really, I'm the art. You're not the art. You can kind of have an idea, but I'm the art. I'm the straw that stirs the drink. So keep that in mind. I'm trying to help you understand it. At the end of the day, I am the one picking it. So it's very difficult to pick. Even if you can't just take an A team. What do you do with it? What do you do with KC Denver? They're good quarterbacks, good defenses, good coaches. Who are you betting on? You don't know the teaser part of that and how to bet the teaser. So that's the art. So keep that in mind. So keep me around for something. Anyway, Daria's mom her head hurts, but she had a brain aneurysm or something. So they went in, drilled it in, took it out. I guess she's fine, just sore. And we will see. Anyway, so Daria was all happy. And we'll go from there. So have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. I showed you the purchase picks. Click it. You go to PayPal. Now, if you don't want to do it on PayPal, you can do it on Venmo and just see, this is going to be $100. I'll pay him in Venmo. Or you want to buy the whole year, $750, just pay it in Venmo. That's fine. And just use my email, I believe, is how I'm in Venmo. And that's it. So we're looking forward to another big year. We can buy a lot of gold and silver with it. We're going to watch as gold and silver goes up. So you're going to take your money that you earn and invest it in gold and silver. And that's a lock. You'll make a fortune. So that's the end game. We have a lot of gold and silver and we all retire like me. All right. Get out of money, get out of cash, just use it to bet, and then off you go. All right. So have a great day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Have a good one.